at him. Just get in that race car, drive that race car to the best of your ability, give good, concise feedback to Lance McGrew and that group. Let them fix the race car. Don't worry about what's under the car. Just give that good, concise feedback, which honestly is what his teammates do best.
Two of his best tracks, Daytona and Talladega. How is racing going to be different at those two facilities in 2010?
Well, as I heard you say earlier in the show, we're going to learn a lot more about January the 21st about 2010, but the thing that I'm hearing is that maybe they're going to let NASCAR, they're going to let the drivers police the bump drafting. And I've said all along, you cannot tell the drivers how to drive these race cars. Yeah, you don't let them wreck people and go out and do rough driving, but you cannot tell them you can bump draft here, but you can't bump draft here. I know NASCAR did what they felt they needed to do the morning of the Talladega race, but I think you've got to let the drivers drive these race cars. And we're even hearing that they're flirting with the thought of doing away with that yellow line, the out-of-bounds line at Daytona and Talladega.
We're talking about Daytona right now, and let's go all the way towards the end of the year, try to be a prognosticator here. Who can dethrone the Hendrick Motorsports juggernaut over there? Could it be a Denny Hamlin, a Kyle Busch?
Well, I like what I see at Joe Gibbs Racing right now with the 20, the 18, but especially that 11 car. Randy, when you look at their season, they put a lot of the mechanical failures behind them, and the way they performed in the chase and even lead into the chase, let's face it, they won 3 of the last 11 races, including the last race of the year at Homestead Miami Speedway, and even with the engine failures at Charlotte and Talladega, with the bad move that Denny made on the restart at Auto Club Speedway, those guys were about as solid as the 48 car. If you give them those races back, I know it's about points, and the 48 outscored everybody, but that 11 car, I think they can be a player here in 2010.
One last quick one, Larry. We're closing on 2010 season start, and it's been pretty quiet this offseason.
Well, it has. It's been one of the most quiet off seasons I can remember, but we didn't have a lot of major players moving around. If you go back to a couple of years ago, we had Dale Earnhardt Jr. Once he made his move, things started falling into place, and they kept moving and shaking and baking all the way into the offseason. Last year, Tony Stewart, when he made his move, I think the dominoes kept falling through the offseason as well. And this is the second offseason that we've had the no testing, so that hadn't had a bit of buzz like it was. It's definitely, other than of course, Pat Tryson and Steve Addington, 2 major crew chiefs making a move, there's not been a lot of moving around in this offseason, plus testing for the second year in a row. Nobody's been doing it.
I can tell the season is close. Your energy level getting higher and higher as the show continues.
Well, it's only 34 days until the Daytona 500.
More NASCAR race up coming up. Don't go away.